Good day, children. Today we are going to focus on the practical part of chemistry. As you all know that chemistry is doing, the practical work is also very significant as it accounts for your internal assessment too. Now a little bit of basic understanding will help you understand the principle behind most of the practicals. Today what we are going to see in the production of a few gases and identification of few anions. The principle is that whenever a salt is treated with dilute acid, it gives out a respective gas and the gas can be used to identify the anion in the salt. For example, if you take any carbonate or a bicarbonate and treat it with any dilute acid, it may be HCl, H2SO4, any dilute acid, then it will give you salt and water and it will give you carbon dioxide. So if you want to study how can carbon dioxide be prepared, we can straight away take a carbonate or a bicarbonate and treat it with dilute acid and show the production of this gas. Alternatively, if you know if there is an unknown salt or a salt whose anion we don't know, and then that is treated with any dilute acid, that will also give you, besides other things, it will give you carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, one physical property we'll be studying. For example, if you are studying about carbon dioxide, it comes out with brisk effervescence. It is a colorless, odorless gas. It is acidic in nature, so it turns the blue litmus to pink. Now these are all physical properties, but the conformation, please remember, the conformation will be done only by a chemical property. It has to be a chemical property, and that too where something is visible. So if you pass CO2 through lime water is calcium hydroxide, and it turns milky, then it confirms that the gas produced is carbon dioxide. So to an unknown salt, if you add dilute acid and a gas is produced which comes out with brisk effervescence, and it is colorless, odorless, and it turns blue litmus pink, and it turns lime water milky, then definitely the gas produced is carbon dioxide. And if the gas produced is carbon dioxide, definitely the unknown salt contains either a carbonate or a bicarbonate. So this is what I am going to show. I am going to talk about carbonate salt, then I am going to talk about sulfide salt also, a sulfide salt. So if any sulfide salt is treated with any dilute acid, then it will form H2S gas. H2S gas is the one which has a smell of rotten eggs, and this also comes out with effervescence. These are the physical properties. So physical properties are basically used to make a guess that if a gas is coming out which has a smell of rotten eggs and it is coming out with effervescence, it might be H2S, and a chemical property will be used to confirm. Okay, this is for confirmation. Always for confirmation you will use a chemical property which shows you some visible change. So confirmatory test will be, it turns lead acetate paper silvery black. Lead acetate paper is otherwise a white strip of paper, and it turns silvery black only in the presence of H2S gas. So if the lead acetate paper is turning to silvery black, it is confirmed that the gas produced is H2S. And if the gas produced is H2S, then the salt is definitely a sulfide salt. Besides the sulfide salt, no other salt will produce H2S gas. So both these things are sort of interconnected. Then I am also going to talk about today to differentiate between sulfate and a sulfide salt. Sulfate and a sulfide salt. Now remember children, most of the sulfate salts are not affected by any acid. So if you add acid to a salt and it does not show any visible change, no apparent reaction, it might be sulfate. Okay, and in case of a sulfite, if you will add any dilute acid, any dilute acid, then it will give you SO2 gas. Now SO2 also comes out with brisk effervescence. It has a smell which has a choking odor, and it is also colorless. Now, but smell and everything, these are all physical properties. On the basis of this, you can make a guess that probably the gas is SO2, and the confirmatory test will be that if you take a paper soaked in potassium dichromate paper soaked in potassium dichromate solution, which is orange in color, so it will change to green. Only SO2 is capable of turning the potassium dichromate solution paper from orange to green. So if this is being done, then the gas is definitely SO2. And if the gas is confirmed to be SO2, then the salt is definitely a sulfide salt. So this is all I am going to show you. In the next video, we shall talk about chloride and nitrate. Alright children.
Students, now we are going to identify sulfide radical present in the salt. So that means effect of dilute acid on sulfide salt. We are taking sodium sulfide. Sodium sulfide, PHIDE. So these are yellow color, light yellow color flakes. Light yellow color flakes of sodium sulfide. Now dilute hydrochloric acid is added. Dilute hydrochloric acid is added. Brisk effervescence and a colorless gas is evolved that smells rotten egg. Rotten egg smell gas is evolved. To confirm, this is moist lead acetate paper. Moist lead acetate paper. Bring it near the mouth and this turn silvery black. This turn silvery black. So hence sulfide radical is proved to be here in this salt, and effect of dilute acid on sulfide salts. Thank you. Students, today we are going to identify sulfate and sulfide radical present in the salt. So that means effect of dilute acids on sulfate and sulfite. So we took sodium sulfite and zinc sulfate. Sodium sulfite and zinc sulfate. Now, white solids. They are white solids. So here, zinc sulfite. Put zinc sulfite in, zinc sulfate in test tube, and in the other zinc sulfate, and in the other we have sodium sulfite. Sodium sulfite, both white. Both are white crystalline. Now, first of all, add HCl in sulfate. See, there is no change. Students, remember sulfates are not easily decomposable. That is why there is no effect on sulfate of acid. Dilute acid, they do not have any effect, they do not show any effect on sulfate. Now put the same acid in sulfite. Brisk effervescence is seen. So a colorless gas is evolved, suffocating, pungent smelling colorless gas. Now, to test the gas, we are going to bring potassium dichromate paper near the mouth of the test tube. So the gas turn it green. This is identification test for sulfur dioxide gas that is released when dilute hydrochloric acid is acted on sulfite salt, sodium sulfite salt. So now again we are going to test sulfate and sulfite by adding barium chloride in it in both the test tubes. White PPT of barium sulfate is seen, as well as sulfite also gives white PPT, barium sulfite. This is the confirmatory test of presence of sulfate and sulfite in the salt. Now add excess of any mineral acid. We are taking dilute HCl. Add it. So check. These are insoluble. Insoluble means these are barium sulfate PPT, whereas sulfite white PPT going to dissolve. Check the difference. So the soluble PPT are of barium sulfite and the insoluble PPT are barium sulfate. So hence sulfate and sulfite radical are proved, and this also showed you effect of dilute acid on sulfate and sulfite salt. Thank you. Good morning students. Today we are going to identify anion present in the salt. Now this we can do by adding dilute acid in carbonate salt. So we are taking calcium carbonate. So this is also effect of dilute acids on salt, and salt we are taking carbonate. So carbonate, dilute HCl, effect of dilute HCl on carbonate. So we took calcium carbonate and we are ready with lime water. Now this, check this salt. This salt is amorphous in nature, and whenever a amorphous salt is there, our first assumption is that this one might be a carbonate, because all the carbonates are amorphous. U-shaped delivery tube. So first of all arrange U-shaped delivery tube to the lime water, and then we are adding dilute HCl. So this is very fast process and a brisk effervescence is seen. So now check the gas with the help of moist litmus paper. So this turn, look at that, this turn red. So that means gas is acidic in nature. So now pass the gas to confirm, pass the gas through lime water and see lime water turns milky. So that proves that gas is carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is released by carbonates. So hence carbonate radical is identified. Thank you. Students, today we are going to test nitrate ion present in the salt. So here we are taking a nitrate salt. Remember something special about nitrates. All the nitrates are crystalline. All the nitrates, remember, all the nitrates are crystalline. So we are taking lead nitrate, crystalline white. Lead nitrate is crystalline white. Yes. Now concentrated sulfuric acid is added. We are going to make a mixture of lead nitrate with concentrated sulfuric acid. Nitrate radical is identified by a special experiment that is known as brown ring experiment. So here we have a mixture of lead nitrate and concentrated sulfuric acid. Lead nitrate and concentrated sulfuric acid. So from the walls of the test tube we are going to add ferrous sulfate slowly. Ferrous sulfate slowly. Freshly prepared ferrous sulfate. So we have check. Somewhere in the mixture a brown ring appears. This brown ring is an additional compound, nitrosoferrous sulfate, that proves the presence of nitrate in the salt. Thank you.
I hope the videos which you have seen just now are helpful to you. Now I'll send you a material where you will write all this down in your practical files. I'll explain that to you in the interactive class. Alright children, have a good day.